What's our topic today, Jenna?
Your puppy's name is not No.
Yeah, your puppy's name is not No. I promise you it's not. So let's take an honest and real look at if you're just constantly saying no to your puppy and taking things out of their mouth and constantly no, 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 no. The problem is they tune you out. That means nothing to them. And you get frustrated, and the more frustrated you get, because we think like puppies should know not to chew on this shoe on the floor, but they can chew on the toy you just bought them. Puppies don't know the difference, right? And let's just be real, a shoe is much more enticing because it has your scent in it. It smells a lot better than a toy from the store. Dogs love scent. And so we get really, really frustrated. Like, you have all these toys. I don't know why you have to chew up the one shoe that got left out. And no, no, no. And chewing on the couch and chasing the cat and nipping at the kids and pulling the toilet paper roll all the way throughout the house and doing this and doing that. And you get frustrated whether you mean to or not. And then the puppy feels that. And now you become inconsistent and not fair, and then the puppy really doesn't respect you in the way that they should, because you're just setting them up to fail. Like at the end of the day, you're setting them up to fail, and so they get more frustrated, you get more frustrated, and it creates more and more problems. Like, things intensify as the puppy gets more frustrated, then we have even more naughty behaviors. So it's really, again, it all goes back to, I think no matter what we talk about with the puppy or a dog, it all goes back to meeting their needs in order first and foremost. But initially, puppies don't know and don't discern between what they can put their mouth on and what they can't put their mouth on, because from their point of view, they explore the world one way.
With their nose.
And their
mouth.
And their mouth. We want just to use their nose. Well, depending what your dog is used for. But they put everything in their mouth, like a toddler wants to touch everything as well. This is truly their way of exploring the world. This is normal and natural, but our job as now humans to assimilate them into our home, into our pack, into our rules, into our expectations, is to teach them what they can and cannot put their mouth on. But from their point of view, everything is fair game. That's how they truly explore the world. And so please understand, you can't just expect a puppy to know what they can and cannot put their mouth on. We're going to give you 2 things easy. Like, you guys, this is just going to be so easy and life-changing. Like, if you're already stuck in this rut, or you're getting a puppy, or even if you have a teenage dog at home, and you're finding that all you're doing is saying no because they kind of regress when they hit the teenage years. Like, you're like, we haven't done this naughty behavior in ever. What's going on, right? Like, they challenge everything again. So even if you're at that point, you can use these 2 things. They're very, very powerful, very easy, and it really does change and shift that dynamic between you and your puppy. So here we go. 2 things. Number 1, I got my little slide up here. Number 1, Jenna.
Prevention. Contained safe space.
I cannot stress this enough. To have a contained, safe space is one of the best things you can do for your puppy when you bring them home. I think the biggest mistake people make is they give them the whole entire house. And not only are you trying to potty train, but you want to train through expectation and what's allowed and what's not allowed. And it's way too much to expect a puppy to be able to assimilate to such a large space. So the most fair thing you can truly do is reduce the space where they are allowed and really train through expectation and get them really comfortable and good in your contained space first. So whether that's just some baby gates at the kitchen area that goes to the outdoor, wherever you're potty training to, that too, it will help you potty train so much faster. People that do have problems potty training, it's because they're not watching the dog, 1, and number 2, they have far too much space. And so puppies are very, very happy to potty over there, and as long as they can play over here and not have to play in it or be in it, that's fine with them. Like, that's still a good thing, good idea. Like, we don't potty and poop where we play or sleep or eat, but so if there's too much space, they will do that. So contained, safe space, prevention, preventing them from getting the shoe, getting the couch, getting your cat, getting your kids, getting the toilet paper, getting in the trash, putting their mouth on everything they shouldn't do or have, you do by prevention. And if it's a contained, safe space, you're giving them the things that they can put their mouth on. And then they will start to learn over time and discern, this is my toy, I'm allowed to put my mouth on this. Do you see like the big, huge difference of just this alone? Someone that brings home a puppy and gives them the whole house, and kids leave their toys out, and there's a cat, and there's, couches and chair legs and garbage and bathrooms, and to them, it's this whole big playground. And then to us, we're like, no, and what's in your mouth? And constantly opening up their mouth and constantly chasing them to get things out of their mouth, which you shouldn't do either. So contained, safe space, they have safety, they have containment, you can potty train much faster, and you're just training through expectation by preventing the naughty habits to even happen, right? And that is key. The next one.
A schedule.
Yeah,
It's really important.
a schedule is really important, keeping them on a schedule, because what happens, I think, more than anything is they don't get enough sleep. We think that they should be up much longer than they are. An 8-week-old puppy will be up for like 3 to 4 hours and then down for a 4-hour nap. And so they will do their very best to stay up with us, especially if kids all come home and everybody's home, or if you homeschool and kids are, constantly trying to play with them, they'll try their very, very best. But an overtired puppy is crabby too, and they just get more pissy about things. Sometimes they ramp up their energy in a negative way. They just, they're not happy, and we don't always realize that it's because they're overtired. So please maintain a good schedule of meeting their needs in order. So the first thing on their schedule should always be rules, boundaries, and limitations. Number 2, mental and physical exercise, lots of training and fun play. And then number 3, love and affection, down for a nap, repeat, down for a nap, repeat. It's just a beautiful way to raise a puppy, and that's how our litters are raised here as well. Every interaction, their schedule is kept, they're kept on a schedule, and it's in the order of meeting their needs, which is truly, truly impactful to creating a balanced, healthy, happy dog. Okay, next one.
Kennel training.
Kennel training. It's not something you have to have lifelong. I mean, I don't have a kennel in my house anymore for my older dogs, but I do think it's highly effective for many different reasons. I think it's important for safety that dogs learn to love their kennel and be kennel trained. If you travel or if you have people over, and 4th of July, I mean, this is just to name a few instances of where and when a kennel is just really, really powerful. And if done correctly, they really do love their kennel. They are animals that love a small space to be. They used to be underground in a little den, right? They dark and small. So innately, instinctually, they have that. It just needs to be done correctly. And ultimately, a puppy will challenge and test and protest containment like anything at first, but you just have to stick through it. And then it's a highly effective way when you cannot watch them. They're in their kennel, and when you're not at home, they're in their kennel. And the other thing too, I've said it in other podcasts and videos. Kids should never really be allowed in a kennel. I think that should be truly their safe space, so that they can have their time out too. Too often, kids flood puppies too much with too much handling, too much attention, and unfortunately, not all of it's always appropriate. Not that they're being mean, but it's for a puppy, like the constantly handling and no free will, and being woken up or not being allowed to sleep enough, and then they're in their kennel. Like they all need some, we all do, for our own mental health, some privacy, some security, a safe space where we know we can just not be working, and just be chill in our safe space and tune out and sleep and rest, and yes. Dogs need that as well.
Sit on the dog.
Sit on the dog activity.
Yes.
It's part of my Power 3 series. There's hand feeding, tether training, sit on the dog. So these next two are sit on the dog and tether training. It prevents, if they're tied to your hip, either one, they're tied to your hip, they cannot be getting into naughty things, and then therefore you're not having to say no and correct and correct and correct. Really, until they're 4 to 6 months old, you should be doing very, very little correcting a puppy anyway. It should all be prevention, and you're going to see our number 2 thing. Those two things combined should be the focus when raising a puppy. We want confident, happy puppies. There should be very little correction to begin with. The only time I honestly correct a puppy is if they come at me, and it's usually my fault because they're overtired, or they've gotten too spun up, they're over-roused, and they come at me not like normal, nice kind of mouthing gently, but alligator, piranha, obnoxious, right at my face with their teeth. I will correct that all day long, but believe me, I only have to do it once, and I mean it, and I do it effectively and correctly, and we have that conversation, and it's over. So I literally don't correct a puppy except for that really intense biting, and then they're going to get it from me, and we're going to have that conversation. Other than that, it's all about prevention, and our next thing we're going to talk about is prevention's huge. And what's our next one, Jenna? Number
I
2.
forgot.
These 2 things.
I have a great memory.
Great memory.
Redirection.
Number 2, redirect. So when they do get into something they shouldn't, it happens, right? We're going to redirect them positively. We're not going to make a big deal of it. Like most things, I just ignore. I ignore the little stuff. They jump on me. I don't correct that at an 8-week-old puppy. I ignore it. Ignoring behaviors you don't want is really, really powerful. Puppies want a reward, they want recognition, they want acknowledgement, they want your attention. So many times we do it without even realizing it. For example, if a puppy jumps up on you, more times than not, I see it over and over and over. People bend down and pet them. And they pet them and they say, hi, buddy. And they're like, okay, well, get down. And they push them down physically. And to a puppy, pushing, any kind of pushing with hands, think about how they play.
Yeah. They're going to come back because it's played.
You're literally asking them to play more, because that's how you're communicating with them. 2 puppies, 2 dogs, they got their paws and their front legs all over each other, right? And so when you reciprocate in that manner, you're literally telling your puppy, come back, jump at me, let's play more. And you're rewarding the behavior of jumping on you. And then they're going to get more intense, because you're going to get more intense and more frustrated, and you're going to push down, and you're going to do it again, and you're going to push a little harder. But literally, you're still telling them to play, and now you're telling them how intense you want them to be. Hello, we're doing that. Don't touch them if they jump on you. A puppy, just ignore. I think on average, I just had this on video last night with Ryder. If you didn't see it, the videos, Jenna shows you or whatever. Ryder hasn't been in the house for several days. I've been out of town. She hasn't seen me. Jenna literally brought Ryder in and I hit record. So Ryder says, oh, well, there's mom, second mom, and came and jumped right on me. I just ignore her. And she came back and she did it again. I did a little knee bump. I just kind of bumped back into her space gently. And it's on camera. By the 3rd time she came up to me, she did not jump on me. There was no correcting. There was no putting my hands on her. If you just ignore a lot of these little puppy behaviors, it's training through expectation. And that is ultimately the best way. So redirect. If they are jumping on you, I would ignore. But if they're biting on your clothes, biting on something they shouldn't be, they did get a hold of the shoe, why don't you give them something they are allowed to chew on? Why don't you do a little training session? Like, okay, you clearly are telling me you need more right now because you're like chasing the cat and you undid the whole entire toilet paper roll. So that's a fault on me. Clearly I'm not meeting your needs in order. You haven't gotten enough mental and physical stimulation. And clearly the rules and boundaries and limitations aren't there because you got into the bathroom to begin with. So that's all on me, right? Like you can't be telling your dog, no, get frustrated. Fail, Jeanette. Okay, now let's get back on track. Let's do something positive. Let's have a positive interaction between each other. Let's do some training. Or let's do a fun game of tug or fetch. It's really, really fantastic. Like, okay, time out. We need a change of our environment. That's really, really powerful. Forward movement's really powerful. So if I'm just getting, and I feel it and I know it, and the puppy, I just feel it, the puppy's getting frustrated, I'm getting frustrated, nothing more powerful than exercise and working together. So head on outside, change your environment, and let's use the power of forward movement with your dog, and it will almost instantly change the energy of not just your puppy, but of you, and you'll feel better too. Right. What else can we do, Jenna? You're so good at this one.
Exploring something new, or doing some brain games with them, and just doing something to work on with their brain and everything.
Yeah, same thing. Forward movement. Yes. Jenna's incredibly clever and sets up little obstacle courses and be like, let's fill up the little kitty swimming pool. And she's always making something for them to figure out or problem solve through. Or, we've got the brain game puzzles, or it can be as simple as putting their food in a water bottle, take the label off, take the lid off, make sure it's dried out, put their food in it, let them roll it around, pick it up, try to figure out how to get their food, for crying out loud, out of the water bottle. Again, we're meeting their needs in order and really exercising their brain and giving them something positive to do. And when you're happy and they accomplish something and that aligns, that's when the true connection starts to form. Like, they want to be around you. You're a positive influence. You're safe. You're reliable. You're fair. You're consistent. You've made it such a healthy place for this puppy to be, and they know that. All right, another one?
A car ride. This is really important when they're younger.
Yeah, and because what happens is a lot of times we forget. We get that way too. We're like, oh my gosh, when's the last time Ryder's been in the car? Crap. And with you guys, when you don't have the vet come to you, what happens is so often, the only time they go into a car, it ends up with a negative consequence. So then they get anxious about being in the car or fearful about being in the car, because when they do, it's to the groomer or to the vet, to the groomer or to the vet. And honestly, neither one of those is a necessarily positive, fun thing to do. So make sure you're very aware and cognizant of, have we had a positive car ride, or just go in the car and not even get out. Like, go in the car, give them a special treat they've never had. While they're in the car, make it short. Drive a block, short and fun. I cannot stress that enough. And I love that so many of my clients, and so many that are not even my clients, people that get puppies now, there's been so much education about proper exposure, and that puppies need to explore as many different things as you can expose your puppy to, the better. The problem is, when we go out to do it, we're like, it's like, and I get it because I have this personality, like, all right, let's do 3 different places while we're out. Like, let's go. Like, I'm not going to mess around here. Too much too soon is really, really detrimental. We create fearful puppies, and then they have a negative association with going out because we've stacked too much stress too quickly. We didn't catch their stress signals, and we kept them out past their stress signals. So now they lose respect and trust in us, that we've pushed them to that point. Heck no, they're not going to want to get in the car again. Heck no, are they going to want to go explore someplace new? And heck no, are they going to want to meet new people if they've met too many, too much, too intense, too much pressure, too much stacking stress. Short and fun. Go around the block. Like, literally. If you go into Home Depot the first time, walk 1 lap and leave. Not everybody has to meet your puppy. We don't have to put that kind of stress and pressure on a puppy. Short
fun.
And like, when we say short, we mean short. It's in and out. Yeah. Very, very short. And then start as they get older, and you continue to build this trust and respect with each other.
You can add more and more the more you go out.
Yeah.
Add like an extra couple minutes every time.
And even a couple minutes. And then you also need to learn what your puppy's stress signals are. And every dog's a little different. And every dog can tolerate, you can stack more quickly, or you can stack more complexly. You know, how stressful it really is, how complex really is the environment. Some puppies with good confidence and strength, you can do longer, you can do more. But your more sensitive puppies, we think, well, because they are lacking a little bit of confidence and they are a little more sensitive, we got to do 10 times more work. Actually, it needs to be really, really just short and fun, so that they start to recognize and realize and know, I can trust this human. And when I hit that threshold, when I'm done, when I have that stress signal, we're out, we bounce, we're done. We're like, all right, we're out. What are some of puppy stress signals, Jenna?
Licking lips, putting their tail down in between their legs, whining, vocalizing.
Yeah, vocalizing.
Trying to think. There's a lot.
It's a common one.
Oh yeah, yawning.
Doesn't mean they're tired, means they're stressed. That one's super common.
Yep.
Avoiding. They turn away.
Yep.
They turn pinned ears. It's just the smallest little turn to the head. If someone's petting and petting and petting, and oh my gosh, I love your puppy, and there's all this energy, there's all this pressure, and you start to see them to start to turn. That is literally your cue to be like, okay, we gotta go. It's almost nap time. Just like with a real baby. Thank you for petting my puppy and helping me with socialization, and we gotta bounce. We're out. So really, really important. Any others you can think of? Whale eyes, when you see a lot of white in their eyes, we're like, oh my gosh, save me. Somebody help. Yeah. I'm like, I'm waving the white flag. Please acknowledge. Please help. Please. We're done. It's really important that is caught every single time, so that your dog really does trust you in a way that so often it's not, because we miss that and we keep pushing. I think Valerie's given you so many hearts.
I know, I love it. Come on, keep the hearts
up. She's throwing the hearts. Jenna loves the hearts. We're at 294. Yep. All right. And then nap time, time out, like I talked about earlier. Way too often we keep our dogs up too long. They're not getting enough quiet, alone time. Puppies really, really need to practice being alone, whether that's...
Or else they're going to get separation anxiety. A lot of people don't think it that way.
Yeah. So it's good they learn how to self-soothe. And that's quiet alone time in their kennel with a Kong with some peanut butter. Give them something busy to do. So it's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing, and something they really learn to enjoy. And it becomes a tool in their toolbox of, this is safe. I get something I enjoy, so I want to go in there. And it becomes a really healthy way for them to nap, get the rest they need, low stimulation, not a lot going on, quiet space, like we all need to kind of recharge and be ready to reinvest in connections with each other. So really important thing, your puppy can only focus on.
Oh.
I was giving that to you. I was handing that off to you, Jenna. Your puppy can only focus on
you.
One thing at a time.
One thing at a time, and it should most of the time be you.
Yeah. So if you are the treat dispenser, you are the love giver, you are the cheerleader, you are the safe person, you are the consistent person. They know exactly where they stand. They know the rules and boundaries and limitations. You want as much focus to be on you. So they can't be barking at the door and focused on you. So always think about that too. If they start to do something naughty or get into mischief, be like, let's change this dynamic right now. Let's get them to come to me, whether I go and get them and put them on a leash. Let's do some training. Let's do some positive focus work between each other. Hand feeding, sit on the dog, tether training. So using that to our advantage is really, really important. So prevention and redirection, those are the two things that should be drilled in your mind with a new puppy, or if you're having some setbacks with a teenage dog, like I thought we already conquered this. Why are we having this problem? We just need to tighten the ropes again, go back to square one. Let's have prevention and redirection and meeting their needs in order. So here's a few other reminders when raising a puppy.
Gosh,
okay.
Can I stop yawning?
Oh my gosh,
be
sorry
positive.
to bore you.
You want to be positive, fair, consistent leader.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yep. And when we do have to correct a puppy, especially when they get a little bit older, like I tell people, for one correction you have to do, you better mean it. It better be fairly intense. It needs to be intense enough that it stops the behavior.
Yes.
But you should be doing one correction to 100 positive praises, And so train through expectation. That's really important. Jenna, the next one?
Yes. Catch, name, reward. Good behaviors.
Can you explain what that means?
So when they do something good, you want to catch it, and then you want to name it, and then reward it.
All within how many seconds?
Like 3 seconds.
You have 3 seconds.
Then they forget.
They forget. So if they're tethered to you, or they're in the kitchen with you underfoot, kind of following you around as you're cooking, and they naturally sit and look at you,
then you want to catch it, name it, reward it.
So you're going to say
3 seconds.
Sit and reward immediately. You should always have a fanny pack on. It should be really kind of this changed mindset when you have a puppy in your home. If they are underfoot, you're working with them, you're engaging with them, you should be the treat dispenser. You are the Pez dispenser, people. Yes. So make sure you have maybe it's their dinner. Like if I'm going to be cooking dinner, I'm going to have the whole puppy's dinner in my fanny pack, and I'm going to catch, name, and reward as many things as possible while I'm cooking, and just keep that positive engagement between the two of us. And then when I'm done, I'll put the rest in a bowl, ask for eye contact, or wait for good eye contact, wait for a nice calm sit, name it, reward it, give them the food, and let them eat. So catching, name, and rewarding, we don't do a lot of time just like okay, we're going to teach the dog to sit, and like actually doing that. We train through expectation is catch, name, and reward. In fact, you don't even have to stress so much about teaching puppies obedience, teaching them sit down, stay, come really at a young age. I like to focus on training through expectation, proper behavior, proper interaction, laying the foundation of what this is going to be like overall by things we just talked about. And then when they get older, then we really start diving into the obedience aspect of it, because the foundation has been laid, right? And so at the end of the day, I don't care if my puppy knows the word sit and what to do with that. Yeah. Like I'll catch it, name it, reward it, but I don't go out of my way to teach a whole session on sit with my puppy. To me, it doesn't make sense because I want it to infiltrate. I want it to be part of life, and that you could be asking him any time, and it's not this set aside time in the front room all the time. I mean, it's still fun and it's still great to do. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just explaining the difference between true obedience and trick training. So we really focus more on true obedience through catching, naming, rewarding, and training through expectation. What's allowed and what's not allowed? Because you can have a dog know 50 commands.
Talk to her.
It's all right. She won't go anywhere. Yeah. You can have a dog that knows 50 tricks, right? And you feel really good. It's like, oh, my dog knows 50 tricks. But they don't know how to act out in public. And they don't know how to interact appropriately with other dogs. Or they still get spun up and have over-arousal issues, or bark at the leash, or fence fight, or, show fear or aggression when someone new comes to the door. So I want to focus on all of that. Truly a neutral, stable dog that knows how to behave and becomes a productive member of society at the end of the day. And we can teach all the obedience later, but I want true good behavior first. That's what we really focus on.
And then you can work on all the
fun
down
stuff.
and
Yeah, and I can add all the tricks as you go, but I need my dog to be squared away. That's the fundamental foundation for a puppy, and then all the rest can come later. The next one?
Where were we at? Oh, ignore a lot of the nonsense.
Yeah, like what I talked about before, I'll ignore a brand new puppy jumping on me. I'll ignore a lot of that silly nonsense because if I'm not naming, catching, rewarding, if I'm not engaging or giving them any kind of feedback for it, some puppies will get to the point they want your attention so bad that they're happy even if it's negative. And so you got to make sure you're very neutral, ignoring a lot of that silly nonsense.
A lot of that puppy nonsense.
Can be beneficial, yeah. And the last one.
Meet your puppy's needs in order.
Yeah, we talk about this in every interaction in your schedule set up throughout the day. The first thing a puppy truly needs to thrive and be that neutral, natural, balanced dog is rules, boundaries, and limitations. They need to know where they stand without a doubt. This is the way it's going to be. You step out of line, these are the consequences. Number 2, mental and physical stimulation, brain games, training, exercise, training through expectation, the hand feeding, the tether training, the sit on the dog, all really tie in beautifully with all of that, really teaching dogs self-control and focus, and not to be reactive. And you're going to start working them head count, heart count, 956, yes. Valerie.
Come on,
956 is our heart count. Everybody start plugging away at those hearts on your screen.
So
Okay, we gotta get to 1,000. Come on, 978. Here we go. And then the third, meeting your dog's needs in order, is love and affection. And too often we get it flipped.
We did it.
You got your 1,000. Well, congratulations, Jenna, with her 1,000 hearts this morning on our live Facebook feed.
Get to 2,000.
I don't know. Can we? Valerie's going to keep sitting there throwing hearts your way. Everybody needs to help. Start hitting that heart button. Jenna wants to know, can we get to 2,000 before we sign off this morning at the 40 Farm, talking about the problem with if your puppy thinks their name is no, and how important it is to meet their needs in order. Love and affection should almost always come after rules, boundaries, limitations, mental and physical exercise, and when, I cannot stress this enough, when they are in a calm state of mind. You shouldn't ever be rewarding inadvertently, but you're not thinking about it, petting, talking to them when they're excited, trying to jump on you, over aroused, whatever. So, they're sitting and barking on a dog on a leash, and you turn around and start petting them and like, it's okay, please be quiet. But what you're telling them is, good job, keep acting like that. Yeah. This is appropriate. Oh, it's like the worst. Yeah, this is exactly what you should be doing. It doesn't matter what you're saying. Please calm down. Please stop barking. It's okay. That dog won't get you. But you're petting and
rewarding that behavior.
You're absolutely rewarding that exact behavior. So make sure your love and affection should be in a calm state of mind only after you meet their other needs.
Almost halfway there.
Yeah, you are. You're going to get your 2,000 before we sign off.
Yeah.
So nice to see so many of you joining us this morning. Kiana's got thumb cramps for the hearts, thumb cramps for the win. Oh my gosh, everybody just start hitting those hearts right now for Jenna before we sign off. She wants to hit 2,000. We're at 1,600 right now. We just have a couple hundred left to go. And you'll have your 2,000.
Yes.
And then she'll probably come on more. Yeah.
Get 2,000, I'll come on more.
Then she'll come on more. When are you going to do your own Friday show? When are you going to hold your own topic? I think I think everybody can contest to this. I think it's getting really close to time that Jenna come and hold her own Friday show.
No.
Yeah, you've trained service dogs. You were 13 years old. You're training horses. You're training service dogs. You have to continue to push yourself to share that gift.
I'm not good at talking.
Not good at talking. Practice. You are good at it. You just need practice. She got her 2,000. Thank you, guys. I'm Jeanette with 40 Kennels, and I'm
Jenna.
Jenna. We're not only healing hearts and changing lives through the power of a dog, but we are on a mission to change breeding, to raise standards, to unite breeders, to educate the public, to stop buying from ill-intentioned breeders. If you cannot return the dog, don't buy the dog. That should be the first question you ask anybody before buying, any store, anybody, any broker. I mean, let's just cut down to the bullshit right now. If you cannot return the dog, you should not buy the dog. It's not good breeders that have the shelters filled. Good breeders, ethical, responsible breeders take their dogs back for the life of the dog. They are there. You can return the dog We don't want shelter numbers high. We don't want rescue group numbers high. We all truly want the same thing, but rescue groups, shelters, and breeders all need to start working together. And we need you as the public to please buy responsibly. Unfortunately, you are funding puppy mills and brokers and ill-intentioned pet stores. So it takes a village. Our dogs deserve more, and that's the mission we are on. Have a great weekend, everybody.
We're
Bye.
almost at 3,000.
Almost 3,000. Yes, you are. Have a great Friday. Bye.
Bye.